You are now listening to the Q&E Podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddammit!
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Edgar on the other line. Edgar, tell the people what's good.
What's up, everybody? I love to be in a good mood, but after these past 7 days right now, it's kind of hard to be in a good mood. Like Ice Cube said a few days ago when he didn't go on Good Morning America, I'm not in the mood to tell America good morning right now. And that, I feel like that's a lot of black people and anybody who supports black people at this moment. I feel like that's everybody's attitude right now. It's we're in an attitude where we want to say hi, but we just can't. Like there's no it's just a numb feeling. There's no way how to feel right now. So that's really how I'm feeling, and that's how I have been feeling over the past 3-4 days now. I just feel numb. I just feel tired mentally. Like that's just my feeling right now.
Yeah, and a lot of these days starting to run together. Like you said, it's been 7 days already since George Floyd's passing.
I think so, yeah.
Bro, time is flying, bro. Protesting in the pandemic, it's just like, man, there's so much hitting us early in 2020. It's June 1st. We just getting to June. It's just so much hitting us so soon, man. But let's dive into it. So we're going to, first off, I just want to say RIP to George Floyd, man. This is why we're doing this podcast, talking about the social injustices and his murder. And also talk a little bit about Ahmaud Arbery, rest in peace to him, and Breonna Taylor, and so many other black people killed by white folks and by police brutality, man. It's getting crazy and getting out of hand. So we're just going to dive a little bit into the protests and the riots that have been going on. And yeah, man, let's just dive into it. So, Edgar, you seen the video. Video came out on Tuesday, I wanted to say. So if you didn't see the video, it was a policeman in Minnesota, Derek Chauvin, took his knee and was kneeing George Floyd in the neck for 8 minutes straight, no let up. I think like 5 minutes into the video, George Floyd was dead, and he still didn't let up. And it was just like, man, and it caused a stir in the whole entire nation, man. It shook us up pretty bad, and we're protesting, we're rioting for him, man. We're trying to get justice for Derek Chauvin. It's just like, there's so much going on. So, Edgar, what was your opinion about the video? How did you feel?
My reaction when I saw the video was like a few minutes ago when I just said I'm numb. Like I was numb watching the video. Like Killer Mike and T.I. a few days ago, they said it themselves. Like this is murder porn at this point. It's like what else is new? Like that's really how I felt when I was watching it. I was sick to my stomach, but I couldn't even get angry because in my head I'm thinking, yeah, here it goes again. Damn, another situation where a black man, black person in general, man or woman, is being like mistreated by police and being killed by police on video. And I ain't know how to feel when I seen it. Like seeing all the other officers hold down George Floyd while Chauvin was on his neck. I'm just like, there comes a point where you have to really know how to be a policeman. If you see that the person you're detaining is struggling to breathe and you hear them saying, I can't breathe, and you hear them saying like, I'm dying or whatever they're saying, and you see one of your fellow officers doing that to the person, like you should have some type of good heart to be like, hey, hold on, like this person can't breathe. I know we got to arrest him and everything, but he's saying he can't breathe. So he's already in cuffs. So let's give him the opportunity. And it's 4 of us compared.
And we've already been in this situation, or we've already seen this situation before.
Exactly.
Partner, bro.
Exactly. So it's like common. It's like common sense and human decency were in none of 4 of their heads at all. Like, and that's really what pissed me off. And my opinion on it is, another opinion I had on it was everybody was standing there recording. And I'm not saying we need to kill police back, but nobody thought to knock this officer down. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I heard there were multiple angles of this arrest from people who recorded this. And there were at least, I'm pretty sure there were at least 25, 30 people standing there watching. So 25 or 30 of y'all, it's only 4 officers. I get it, they armed, but damn, like, can't nobody just push the officer off at least and just be like, hey, this man can't breathe?
But this is my point on that, bro. If you watching that, you seeing that go down, you seeing he not letting up at all, you could feel like you're next. Because it was the dude in the front, it was the black dude who was talking like the most on the one video that we seen. He was talking the most, he was saying, get up. And he looked like he wanted to run in. but he was going to get grabbed by the Chinese dude that was trying to do something to him. So if he would have tried to impede what Chauvin was doing to George Floyd, he could have been the next person with a knee in his neck and the next person dying at the hands of the police. So we can say this, that, yeah, somebody should have jumped in, this, that, the third, but it's like, man, it's the police and they're going to have the upper hand in that situation. It's like you're going to either get arrested or you could be the next person in that situation like George Floyd. So do you want to take the risk? I know if somebody's dying, I know he's losing breath, I'm seeing it, but it's like, damn, I couldn't be the next one at the same time, bro. So I understood it. I feel where you're coming from, but I understood why nobody jumped in, because it's like I could feel like I'm next. So continue.
It was no, like everything you said was right, and everybody has the right to think that way. Like, damn, I want to help, but I could be next. But at the same time, it's like you can't. For all of you can't let fear just like impact you like that. And it comes to a point where you have to be okay with not sacrificing yourself, dying.
No, you're right. Sacrificing
yourself is like, I got this tatted on me for a reason. Like Malcolm X, by any means necessary. By any means necessary, as a people, we got to be willing at some point to sacrifice something. Martin Luther King went to jail and everybody else still kept marching. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, although I'm the head of this, like, I'm going to be on the front lines. I'm still going to do stuff that the quote unquote regular protesters are going to do, even though I'm the head of this. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, like if 2 or 3 of y'all decided to push the policeman off or whatever, and all 2 or 3 of y'all out of like the 40 to 50 people watching got sent to jail, okay, take that little L, especially if you ain't never did nothing before. Okay, take that L, go to jail, pay your bond or whatever, and get out. Like, take that L because you're saving a life. Like, you're stopping another black life from being taken from this earth. Like, I feel that's a situation where few should take a L so the majority can thrive. And I feel like that's where that by any means necessary mindset comes from. You know, and I feel like it comes to that when people don't want to, like, sacrifice possibly losing their job, sacrifice possibly losing their little bit of money or whatever. It's just sacrifice possibly losing some of their freedom. Like, it's to a point where we can't just let fear override our natural instinct to do some shit anymore. Like, that's where I feel that can't always be a fact. Sometimes you got to say F that fear and just go and do what you know is right. Like, don't be scared to do what's right because you know it could give you a wrong outcome. Like, if you know it's something right to do, do it.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people aren't built like that anymore, though, bro, because that was something that was really common, well, with the Black Panther Party and, like you said, with the Martin Luther King marches and things like that. That was something that was really common. But since the 2000s, late 90s, we haven't seen a lot of that, bro. It's not a lot of people that will really step in front of a bullet for the next man, somebody who would try to push a police officer out of that because, like you said, fear. And I want to just piggyback off your point of how Martin Luther went to jail and they were still marching. Huey Newton, it was the same thing with the Black Panther Party. Huey Newton went to jail for, quote unquote, killing a police officer, which he didn't do, served 3 years, and the Black Panther Party kept going, bro, because they still understood at the same time, even though he is our leader, we still have to stand up for this community because if we're not going to stand up for us, who else is, bro? Especially when they just keep killing us and keep, you know what I'm saying, just keep torturing us at the end of the day, bro. And it just doesn't make any sense. And I had the same reaction as you. I felt numb. I sent a video to my mom because I really didn't know how to feel. And I really felt like you. I was really desensitized. So we've seen so many killings, especially on video nowadays. It's becoming really common, bro. Really common. So it's like I see them with a knee on his neck. I'm just blinking. I'm just acting like it's a regular thing, bro. And that's not something that should be regular. I'm watching somebody die right in front of my face. And imagine how that feels if you're in that moment and you're somebody who's watching that man die. I'm thinking about the trauma for the black dude and everybody, the 25, 30 people watching him die. That's traumatizing, bro. You're in that moment. You're watching somebody die like that, so up close. That is crazy to me. And that's what I was thinking in the back of my mind. I'm like, it's traumatizing for George Floyd and his family, obviously. But everybody around that situation, bro, who wasn't a cop, or who was just watching it all go down. You seen the man just laying in front of you, see how he died. That's really how I felt about it, man. So RIP to George Floyd. But obviously, in the coming days after George Floyd's death, there have been a lot of protests and riots in his name and for social injustice, period. It wasn't just always for George Floyd, but he was the main reason. Derek Chauvin has been charged with third-degree murder.
It was third degree murder / manslaughter, and he's in a Minnesota correctional facility right now. They haven't said which one or anything like that, but
yeah. So that was really the point, because when did the riot start? It was like I want to say I went to sleep and I woke up and I just seen everybody in Minnesota going crazy, bro. So
damn near like the night that it went viral, I think that's when everything started happening. So I'll say like either Wednesday during the day or Wednesday night is probably a good estimate of when the Minneapolis.
Because it started there. It was Minneapolis, and then everybody basically piggybacking on that. So in Minneapolis, I want to say they burnt down a Target. They looted the Target. I want to say they burnt down a police precinct in Minneapolis as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say somebody told me that it was the one that Chauvin worked at, but I haven't really confirmed it. I really don't know. Do you?
No, I don't know if it was one he worked at. I'm pretty sure they would have specified if it was that one.
Oh, okay.
I know
it was a precinct.
I seen the picture though. Yeah.
Yeah. So they burnt down a precinct. So everybody in Minneapolis, like Edgar said, it was Thursday night. I want to say was burning down, and we was all crazy. So everybody wanted to go out the next day, doing protests, and just fight for social injustice because we want to see change, man. This has been happening for so long. We see Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? His justice didn't come until months later. He was killed in. I want to say he was killed in
February.
And in February, my fault. He was killed in February, and his killers didn't get arrested until 2 months later, until actual video came out. And that's something I want to piggyback on as well, because a lot of police brutality doesn't happen on camera, bro.
Right.
I'm glad the social media era has really started to kick in, because we get to see it, and when we actually see something, we believe in it, and that's when we want to fight for something. But when we just hear it on the news, we don't see any evidence. We really blow it under, just like Ahmaud Arbery. We really blew that by, and we really didn't give that too much attention until the video came out of him jogging and getting killed by the white neighbors. And it's just like, wow, this is really happening, and we have no other reason but to believe it, bro. So how did you feel about the Arbery case and also about the riots?
When it comes to Ahmaud Arbery, I think who told me, I'm not sure if it was my brother or somebody, I can't remember at this exact moment who told me, but somebody did tell me that it wasn't just the fact that Ahmaud Arbery was jogging. I think he was in an area that he wasn't, quote unquote, supposed to be in. I don't know if he was specifically on someone's property or not or whatever, but either way it goes, and I get it. I think he had like some type of criminal history in his background or whatever, but regardless of that, it was broad daylight. A man, not just a black man, a man in general was just going through the neighborhood. And even if you did see him on your property, you have the right to call the police, but you don't have the right to do anything more than that if he's not causing harm to you or your family or anybody associated with you. All you have to do is call the police, threaten him that you're calling the police, do that, and then wait for the police to come do their job. If he's not trying to harm you or anything like that, just wait, play the waiting game and wait till they pull up. The fact that these white men felt like it was okay to take it into George Zimmerman again, thought it was okay to take it into their own hands and kill this man, like that's crazy to me. Like I don't get it. And they're walking free right now. Like at least as far as I know, I think they're still walking free. I don't think any of them have been prosecuted or anything yet.
Yeah, I think
to my knowledge. Now, if they have, then good. But I hope if they have, I hope they've gotten the proper sentencing, and I hope it's nothing light, and I hope that we don't take these black lives for granted. And when it comes to the riots, I've been telling people for the past 3 or 4 days now, I don't think the riots are good, but I don't necessarily think they're bad either. I feel like I've been saying this a lot. It's a casualty of war. We're at war with racism. We're at war with discrimination. We're at war with social injustice, police injustice, and brutality. We're at war with America. Black people, we are at war with America with so many different factors that a casualty of war is rioting. And I feel like that's all this is. Do I agree with all the senseless looting and everything, like just running into jewelry stores and stealing stuff just to steal it because all this is going on? No, I don't feel like that's right. Don't incriminate yourself by doing stupid stuff like that. But the going in the streets and vandalizing and just rioting and causing ruckus and like destroying property of the oppressors, I ain't got no bad feelings for them. I don't, y'all, KKK been burning black churches, black Wall Streets, black people, black buildings, black homes for years. And it was praised by law. But
Sure.
we burned down a Target. I ain't gonna say we, because I ain't gonna make it sound like only black people did it, but a Target gets burned down and all of a sudden it's doing the most. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's situations like that where I don't feel sorry for Target. I know y'all, it's one store. Y'all will bounce back. Y'all a multi-million-dollar corporation. Y'all ain't worried about that. So,
and I'm not worried about any of these white businesses, bro.
Honestly. Yeah, like I'm really not, honestly.
Yeah. But it's just when I see the black businesses get burned down, because me and Edgar were talking earlier, and I want to say the video came out on Friday about, I seen a black person and black business owner in Minneapolis get his business burnt down and looted by black people. It's on film. And it's like, you can just see the hurt on the black man's face. And it's like, we're supposed to be protecting black businesses, if anything, at this point. Like, these are our people. We're supposed to be standing with them. And the fact that you're looting, you know what I'm saying? You burning it down. It's just like, man, what are we really doing? I feel like we're losing focus at the end of the day. We're getting caught up in this looting, and we're forgetting the purpose of why we did this. Like Edgar said, it's the social injustice. It's everything else that comes with it. The police brutality, bro. We're supposed to be fighting that, not fighting against our own people. We're just not doing this to loot. We're doing this for a purpose at the end of the day. And a lot of people got to keep that mindset when they're at these protests, when they're on the doing these riots. We got to keep that mindset, bro. We really do. It's too much of that going on, man. We got to protect black businesses at the end of the day. And yeah, that's really what I wanted to say when it comes to riots. You can get all the white businesses. I don't care.
And another thing with that, it's like I was telling Quincy before we started, black businesses and even some, I'm really going to emphasize some because I know not all, some businesses that aren't black owned, but you all know contribute to the black community. Why are you damaging those? Why are you burning those down? Like, I was just telling him how it was a store in St. Pete. It's called On Point. At least from what the pictures I seen and the statuses that I read, the store was broken into. Let the post tell it. In the pictures, the store was broken into and it was looted from. And that's not a black owned store. The store is called On Point. It's on 22nd and 34th South. And it's not black owned, but all black people shop there. Like, their majority of their customers are black. The people who work there most of the time that I've seen are black. So even though it's not black owned, it's something that black people in the community can go to. Same thing with graffiti. Graffiti ain't black owned. Like, I think it's like, it'd be Arabs in there or white people or whatever. I don't know. But graffiti isn't black owned, but it's somewhere that you don't want to go to the mall and get something, go to the graffiti real quick. Grab some LRG, grab some Diamond Supply, grab something. You know what I'm saying? Something quick for an outfit or some shoes or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's businesses like that even though they may not be black owned, but you know they contribute to your society, and the black businesses that you know definitely contribute to your society, don't damage those. Don't burn those down. Don't protect them, if anything. Block those off.
Exactly.
So, but all the
we seen a video of that earlier. How people were protecting a Waffle House, but not protecting a black business.
And I love Waffle House. Me and Quincy love Waffle House, but I ain't gonna feel sorry if one Waffle House get taken down. Honestly,
like, it's Waffle House at the end of the day. It's white owned, bro. It don't matter. That's still an oppressor at the end of the day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Protect the other black one. You know what I'm saying? Roscoe's or whatever. Do something else when it comes to black business.
Yeah, now see, like, if y'all protected Roscoe's and stuff, like, that's literally like the epitome of black culture. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, or in St. Pete, Rush Hour Chicken and Waffles. That's literally our Roscoe's.
Hey, shout out to Trey.
Like, shout out to Trey, man. Like, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like, don't burn that down. But if you burn out Waffle House or IHOP, I ain't gonna really bat no eye, because it's like they'll be all right. But Rush Hour Chicken and Waffles, everybody know Trey. Everybody know Trey Daddy. Everybody know how monumental that restaurant is to the community. People who come from Tampa to come to that restaurant, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's a restaurant where, damn, if somebody loot that or destroy that, Trey Daddy gonna be hurt. And it's gonna be like, damn, it's, even if he is able to reboot it, it's gonna take a minute. Like,
exactly.
So,
and why we want to hurt our own in this situation, bro? Like,
right.
It doesn't make no sense. And I want to go back to your point of how white people are saying, like how we went too far in this situation, how looting is going too far. I think they're forgetting that the civil rights era was only 1 to 2 generations ago. The slavery era was really only 3 to 4 generations ago. It's like that is still fresh in a lot of people's mind. And if you look at these protests, yes, it's a lot of young people out there, but it's also a lot of 40-year-olds out there, 50-year-olds trying to get their point across because they have seen the civil rights. They have seen the times in the late 80s and the LA riots. They've seen the injustice for so long, bro. And I think the white people are forgetting that, bro. This is still fresh. This is still fresh. And then we get that trauma. We get the slavery. We still get that post-slavery trauma, bro. All of that is passed down to us. So we still feel that from our ancestors, bro. So I think a lot of people forget that, bro. This is still fresh in our mind.
I seen a video today, and I don't even know why they. Now she a grown lady, she can do what she want to do, and I applaud her for it. But I seen like a 70-something, almost 80-year-old looking black woman today marching and protesting against everything going on and for George Floyd. Now, as touching as that was to my heart to see her on her walker, like in the middle of the road doing that, It's like, bruh, like, do y'all realize she's seen this twice in her lifetime?
Exactly.
Like, she's old enough. Hell, my daddy old enough. My daddy was born in 51. Martin Luther King was killed in 68, I want to say. So my daddy was like a teenager, but he was alive during civil rights time. Like, he was able to see that jump. So I know this lady, she look older than my daddy. So I know she's seen the worst of the worst when it comes to protesting and riots and all that stuff. And like, if anything, she went through it worse than what we going through now.
Way worse.
The fact that she's out there like marching for possibly the second part of her lifetime, like, and a lot of people our age either don't want to or feel like they don't have to. Like, come on, y'all. Like, we got to do better, bro. It's no reason somebody that old should be out there trying to reiterate the same message 50 years later. Like, come on now. Like,
that's a good point, bro. And that was the point I'm trying to make, bro. And I want to go back to this point because as a black people, we got to keep our foot on these white folks' neck at the end of the day. Like, I think, Edgar, I seen it in your post that I don't want to see this be a flash in the pan type of thing. 2 weeks we protested, we fighting the cause, and then we get distracted by something else. And then, or another pandemic pops up and we forget all about what we were standing for. Like, we got to keep this fight going, continuing, bro, for months and months on end until something changes. I don't know what, I'm not educated enough on what can change with the police. Me and Edgar was talking about that earlier. I'm not educated enough to know what we can change or what they can change, but something has to change, and we have to keep protesting until something changes with police brutality and just the social injustices that are going around, bro. And I want you to dive in on your experience at the protest. You were out there at the one at Gainesville. Tell us how that was and what was that experience was like.
Yeah, for those of you who don't have me on my like personal social media pages, I on Saturday morning around 11:30, almost noon, me and some of my friends who go to UF, actually a lot of people I know who go to UF and are still in Gainesville right now, we decided to join the community, the fellow Gainesville community, and protest and march for George Floyd and against police injustice and police brutality. And for at least the first half almost of Saturday from like 11 to, I say damn near 5 o'clock, everybody was out there on Main Street and downtown protesting and marching. It was really beautiful to see. It was really beautiful to be a part of. I never thought in my lifetime I would be part of something like that. Like, excuse me, as much as I want to, as much as an activist I want to be, I never thought I would be in an activist situation like that. Like actually marching, actually holding in police murder signs and holding Black Lives Matter signs and taking the pictures that I took, interacting with the people that I interacted with, you know what I'm saying? So, and being by my friends, like walking with my friends doing it. It was such a surreal moment that I didn't even really think about it that much in the moment. But now that I look back on it, it's like, that's literally something I could tell my kids that I did and was a part of. Like, I didn't just watch it on social media. No, I was actually a part of it. I helped. It may have only been one day right now, but if it's a situation where I can do it again, I'll do it again if I'm able to, you know. And I feel like you have to use your voice. The way me and Quincy using our platform right now to talk about this, we reaching a few thousand right now, but these few thousand could tell the next few thousand, could tell the next few. You never know how effective your platform is until you use it. So that's how I feel on the protest that I was a part of on Saturday. I loved every minute of it. It was a Trump supporter out there who for some reason thought it was okay to walk through our movement. This was the funniest part of the whole day. I wish I had my friend Caleb on the phone right now to talk about it. But he walked through like our protests and he was basically like just flicking people off, saying get out of the way, like I'm trying to get through and all that. And I'm not sure you want to do that through an entire angry group of black people. And you're the only person right now, like with this Trump stuff on. When I tell y'all this man bit in the corner so fast, I've never seen a white man run this fast ever. I know we seen Trevor Lawrence run at the national championship, but this dude had him beat by a mile. Yeah. He had this man beat by a mile. He bit the corner so fast. I low-key almost felt sorry for a second. I was like, dang, they finna F him up. But I went on about my day because I was like, hey, he knew what he was doing. He should have had all that stuff on.
Bro.
He knew what was going on today. He seen us 3 blocks down and still chose to go down that road. I was like,
okay. Bro. And I feel like that was a nationwide type of thing, too, because I think that happened somewhere else. So a Trump supporter had came up, but they had beat him up, though. They had ended up catching him. I want to jumping him, bro. And I wanted to get to your point, man. Like a lot of people out in the streets and they're protesting. I think a lot of people are starting to transition out of the MLK mindset of hoping and praying for equality, because we tried it for so many years, like we said, since the 60s, since the civil rights, for equality. And it's just like we haven't seen anything. And I think we're starting to transition into a Malcolm X type of mentality. It's like, all right, by any means necessary at this point. Y'all doing too much. Y'all killing too many of our people. It's like, okay, by any means necessary. If we got to be violent, if we got to riot, if we got to protest for y'all to actually notice us and to see us out in the community, it's like, okay, now we're trying to make our point. So how do you feel about that point?
I feel like we're at a point now where, yes, I feel like we are transitioning more into a Malcolm mindset, but let's still keep Martin's perspective on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? Put it on the back burner, but still keep it there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, we're transitioning to Malcolm more, but don't think that we don't want any type of peace. Like I think communicating, I think peaceful conversations, I think trying to work together is still an effective approach. It's just right now, that can't be the first approach. That has to be the secondary approach at this point, because we tried letting that be the first approach and it has not been working successfully. It's worked in a few instances, but overall the peaceful approach has not worked. So that's why I feel Martin is dropping down a level and Malcolm is going up a level right now, because like you just said, for years now, we've been trying the whole peaceful approach thing and it just hasn't been working to the full extent that we need it to. So at this point, Martin Luther King even said himself, and I agree with this quote, but I feel like he should have switched the words. Martin Luther King said himself, riots are the voice of the unheard. And I agree with that, but I don't. Where I agree with it is the voice of the unheard, but not only the unheard, but the ignored. Because how I feel, if you're unheard, then nobody's hearing you. So you can't be upset if people don't hear you. Like they're ignorant to it because they don't know. So when I hear unheard, I feel like you don't know and you just literally don't hear me. But Black people in America know. They hear us, they see us, and they know. So we're not unheard anymore. We're just plain old ignored, blatantly ignored. So these riots aren't the voice of the unheard. These riots are the voice of the ignored, the oppressed, and the suppressed. So
So in a lot of these videos I've been seeing, because I haven't been out in the field yet, so I haven't been able to see it personally. I'm gonna try to get out there soon. But in a lot of videos I've been seeing on social media, it looks like a lot of the white people have been doing the looting and being the main ones doing like a lot of obstruction of a lot of these buildings and stuff like that. The Black people are just trying to get our point across. We're just trying to protest. We are doing some looting. I'm not acting like no Black people are doing that, but it looks like it's mostly the white folks in a lot of these videos I'm watching, bro. So I'm starting to have mixed feelings toward the white people. And I'm starting to look skeptical because, yes, there are those whites that are out there that are trying to use their privilege to better their community and the Black people's plight and stuff like that. But on the other hand, it's people just out there trying to take pictures and just trying to take advantage of what we got going on, bro. So I want you to speak on that, being that you were out there in the field and what you've seen.
From what I've seen personally, when I was out Saturday, I was in a situation where my protests, I don't want to say my protest, but the protest I was a part of, it was what it should have been. It was an aggressive message, but it was still handled correctly. Nobody got hurt. Nobody was shot. As far as I know, once we left, nobody was taken to jail or anything like that. If anything, the police blocked off roads for us to march. You know what I'm saying? So it was a situation where there was no casualties or anything like that. So my personal experience from being in the field, it went exactly how I was hoping it would go.
Okay.
But situations where people are looting and rioting, setting places on fire and stuff like that, I feel like we can't get rioters and protesters confused. Well, yeah, we can't get protesters confused with rioters and looters. Like, those are different things. We can't say the protesters are looting. No, the looters are looting. Yeah. And I just feel like we're at a point right now where they're trying to, when I say I mean mass media is trying to flip the narrative to a certain extent and try to make it into something that is the secondary thing we need to think about. Yes, we see it. We know people are looting. We know people are burning and stealing. But the main thing right now is that Black people are out trying to get our voices heard and not request anything, but demand things now since this like epic tragedy again in our community. Yeah.
And also, I want to speak on this point. How do you feel about when it was obviously when it was the pandemic, a lot of the pandemic thing was going on, they had a lot of the white people went up to the Capitol, and it was basically a not peaceful justice. The white people were all in the cops' face, nobody getting shot. But obviously when it's our protest, a whole lot going on. They're using rubber bullets, they're shooting us, they still doing us wrong at the end of the day, still getting arrested, still punching us. We still getting a raw deal, even though we just seen a couple of weeks ago white people go up to the Capitols and storm them. And it's like, damn, we still getting a raw deal when we just trying to get our voices heard, bro. How do you feel about that, bro? That's crazy.
It really sickens me, honestly, because if for any white person that does not know what white privilege is, look at that protest and then look at our protest. Exactly. And you will see the difference. Like, you can literally be a white person in a protest with AR-13s, AR-15s. Like, you can literally have weapons on you and like shout your chants and be in the police's face and all that stuff. You could be out all day doing that. There will be no curfews given. There will be no tear gas. There will be no like confrontations like to where people are getting arrested. Like there won't be any of that. But a Black Lives Matter protest where there are no weapons, where all we have is signs and ourselves, like the riot shields come out. Now, granted, there were riot shields with the other protests too, but they were just standing there. But we're getting pushed with the riot shields. We're getting tear gassed. Like, we're getting arrested. Like, we're getting pulled out of our cars. Like, it's to the point where, like, damn, how do you not see the privilege at this
Exactly.
point? And like Quincy was saying earlier, thank you to all the white people who are using your privilege to help us and to stand with us. Like I was telling Quincy earlier, we get it. Not all white people are bad people. I have a lot of white classmates and I have white friends who have DM'd me and like added me on Twitter and everything. And they're telling me that they stand with us and anything they can do to help, whether it be a subscription, whether it be buying a product or shopping at a Black owned business or something, like, or going to a rally or going to a meeting or something. Like, I appreciate every one of my white friends, colleagues, classmates. I appreciate all of you who are helping and just trying to do the little things that can help the big picture. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, like Quincy said, I don't want it to make it sound like we just totally against white people, because we not. But at the same time, we got to get the message across. And like people try to say, don't make it a black-white thing. No, we have to be true to what it is. This is a black.
It is. Like,
it's literally a black and white thing, because 9 times out of 10, that's usually how it is. So we got to call it how we see it. And I understand not all the policemen involved in a lot of these brutalities and killings are white. Some may be Hispanic, some may be like Asian, some may be black in certain instances. But that's where police injustice and brutality differs from the systemic racism. It's part of systemic racism, but it's its own branch at the same time. Because I know it's not always a white police officer in these situations. So I don't want to make it seem like all white people this, all white people that. But majority of them, we are talking to y'all.
Oh, yeah. It's some black folks, too, now. All skin folk, kinfolk now. Hey, a lot of them black cops, bro. Yeah. Got taken advantage of in Atlanta one time, bro. It's not something that you want to be a part of, especially when it's your own people, bro.
Exactly. And shout out to the officers that I do know, like Officer Boyd, who I've known the entire time since I was at Lakewood, even when I was younger. An officer, as aggravating as he used to be sometimes, like his intentions were good, and he just wanted to make sure we didn't go down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? Officer Harris, Reggie Dad, Officer Harris. You know what I'm saying? Another policeman that does well and tries to do the best he can to come home to his family every day. You know what I'm saying? So policemen like that in the community of St. Pete, like who do try to do the right thing, we appreciate you. Cause I don't like when people just say no, police are good, blah, blah, blah. No, we need police. That is a job that we do need. Like we can't just live in a society with no police. Like it's going to be chaos. It's going to be anarchy.
Exactly.
So appreciate the good ones we have, but still hold them accountable. Like I'm really big on that. Just because you're a good policeman, that don't mean you need to be quiet in times like this. Speak up against your coworkers. Speak up against your sheriffs if your sheriffs are corrupt. Speak up against your deputies or your fellow officers if they corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Don't be silent, because your silence is violence at this point.
Yep, you're right, bro. And all right, let's transition into this topic, bro. Okay, we were talking about purpose earlier. So what do we expect to come out of this? So if we keep our foot on their neck and we use this, you know what I'm saying, we use this protesting all the way to its full potential, what do we fully expect to change after this? Like I said, I'm not educated to know, but I just want to get your opinion on that.
I feel like the main thing that we need to do is again, like how I spoke on Killer Mike earlier when the episode started. I feel like Killer Mike made a lot of points on how we as a people need to, especially Black people, need to take advantage of our voting rights and actually do it and vote. And not just on the presidency. The presidency, honestly, can be the last thing that you worry about at this point, because that's just a whole circus in itself right now, figuring out who the head is going to be right now. But right now, figuring out who your next mayor is going to be that you should vote for, figuring out the next judge and prosecutor is going to be that you need to vote for, like the next state senator and like the next House representatives that we can play a part in choosing and stuff like that. Like I was telling Quincy too, when it comes to your local police department, if there's any way you can have an effect on who is the next sheriff or anything, do your part and vote if able to. If you are able to vote in any of those topics, vote. Because if you don't, I feel like you don't care. I don't like when people say our vote don't matter, this, that. No, it does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear our vote don't matter, because
but at the same time, bro, you can't be mad at people who do say that, especially in a situation like we just seen it in 2016 with Hillary. It's like she won it with the popular votes, but then Trump still ended up sliding in with the electoral. It's like, okay, we can keep saying, I'm just playing devil advocate here because I vote, but it's just like still, it's like we see Hillary won with the popular and Trump still ends up finding his way in somehow, bro. So it's like I obviously don't agree with the non-voting type of thing, but I can't be mad at you because I still see people are getting effed over in a way when it comes to the voting too.
But again, that's a presidency election.
That's true. So
that's a presidency election. I feel like no matter who the president is, if everything under the president is still somehow towards us, towards the betterment of us, it ain't gonna matter who the president is at that point. Like because we seen that with Obama. Like, it ain't matter that Obama was the president. A lot of stuff that he tried to do, couldn't really do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything else was red, damn near underneath him. He had a few blue spots underneath him, but majority of everything on him was red. So it was like the 4 to 8 years that he was in there, it was like he couldn't do everything he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying Obama just had this like extremely handicapped presidency, but there was a lot of stuff that could not be done just simply because he didn't have all the power. That's when a lot of black people of the younger generation really learned that the president don't just have all the power like how they try to do now.
That's true.
Like, because I feel like a lot of people from the age at that time, a lot of people from the age of 18 to like 30 or 35 just felt like if you're the president, if we get the right president, everything else is fine. And when Obama was in office for 8 years, we kind of ignored everything else and just thought, hey, Obama, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of us are paying way more attention now that it can't just be the president. It has to be the senator. It has to be the House. It has to be the mayor. It has to be the judge. It has to be the Supreme Court. Like we have
Congress. The Congress is really what's running everything.
Like
Congress running everything. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to all that stuff. That's what I feel like we should do, so we don't just go back to quote unquote normal after all this fun.
Yeah. So do you expect a change in the police ways? Because I feel like that's something that we should really be looking for a change in, because they're the real problem right now. Obviously, the white folks killing us, but police killing us too. That's the problem. So do we see a change in the way they approach us or anything of that nature?
Like Chris Rock said in his special, I think it was 2018 or 2019 when he had his special. Not some jobs can't have bad apples. Like you just can't. You go to an airport, you can't have one or two pilots that might hit a mountain while you flying. Like, no, every pilot here needs to know what the hell they're doing and needs to be very good at what they do. Same thing with firemen, same thing with police workers, same thing with teachers. Like, you can't have half-ass teachers, you can't have half-ass firemen or policemen. And he emphasized the fact that policemen aren't honestly paid enough, and you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel extremely how Chris Rock felt when it came to that subject, because right now we at a point in time where we have to have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to police officials. Like, zero tolerance. None of that discrimination, none of that racism, none of that. Do your job, do it to the best of your ability without excluding any one particular race or people.
Yeah. And I feel the same way, bro. I don't really feel like much change is going to. Obviously, I'm standing with my people, and I want some change to happen, but I don't see it happening when it comes to changing the police ways, bro. I truly don't. I feel like we were looking for that in 1992 as well with the LA riots. We were looking for something when it came to Rodney King after his beating. It's like those officers got off. Same thing here at first. Chauvin had got off. He only got fired at first. Same thing in Rodney King. Those officers that got off, they started rioting. And it's like, yeah, 2 of those 4 officers in the Rodney King situation got arrested eventually, but it's like nothing beyond that happened. Like the same day, they basically went back to normal after those five days of riot. Everything went back to normal after that. And it's just like, if it happened in 1992 with no change in it, we still getting beat up and killed to this day, I really can't see it. It's the systemic racism just will not change, and I can't see it, bro. White supremacy is, I feel like, it is at an all-time high still, bro. The elite still feel elite at this point.
It can definitely change, but we have to stop being scared. We have to stop letting, like I said before, we have to stop letting fear be the winner in a lot of situations. And I feel like a lot of Black people, whether you rich, poor, in the middle, or whatever, a lot of us now have gotten to the point where we're complacent. We're okay where we're at in life, and we don't want to lose the little bit that we got. Yeah. And nobody is willing to make that sacrifice. Nobody's willing to, I'm not saying everybody got to, but
exactly,
nobody's willing to be that one. Nobody is willing to be that one. And back then in the 50s and 60s and 70s, like, it was normal. Like, the average Black person, they didn't care if they lost their job because they know the community had their back. Okay, we know brother Hicks lost his job, so we got to make sure that while he out his job, we can help support him and his family until they get back on their feet with something else. But we still got to keep the movement going at the same time. Nobody willing to be that person. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody want to make sure they keep theirs and do their thing, but stand up at the same time. Like, no.
Exactly. It don't make,
Like, but I was telling Quincy this for for all y'all out there who feel like we need a leader or whatever, like, I don't know if we'll ever get that one leader like how we used to just have Martin or how we used to just have Malcolm. I don't feel like we'll ever probably get that one leader again. I hope I'm wrong, but we need at least a group of leaders, like the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the LeBrons, the Oprahs, like the Tyler Perry's. Like, we need those people, whether they be quiet in situations like this or they talk. Like, we need those type of people. Like, I ain't tired of seeing them, but I'm kind of over just seeing the B-list celebrities or the D-list or C-list celebrities pouring they all into it, but the A-list celebrities barely say anything. Like, Killer Mike say way more than Oprah has ever said when it comes to police and justice. And
that's who I consider a real leader. That's somebody I consider a real leader, man. Like, on a lot of issues, he has everything to say on all the issues considered black.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, whether you agree with everything he say or not, he's a leader at the end of the day, and he's for the people at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. And I feel like you got to be, like I was telling Quincy, Drake is an artist that I feel just don't ever really say enough of anything. And I love, anybody know me know I love Drake. I got Drake all through my music and everything. Anytime this man drop, I'm on it. I listen. Anytime he make a smart business move, I see it. I'm one of the first people to like react to it and all that stuff. But you got to hold your favorite people accountable. Hold your favorite athletes. Hold your favorite entertainers and anybody you look at a high standard in the black community. Hold them accountable. Like, don't let them slide just because they're your favorite artist or they're your favorite athlete. I love Lil Wayne. Wayne says a lot of dumb stuff a lot of times when it comes to police brutality and racial injustice and social injustice. He my favorite music artist at the end of the day, but I know how to separate the art from the person. I know what he's done musically. I know he's in the GOAT category with a lot of that stuff, but as a person, I question him a lot of times with stuff he said, and I hold him accountable. You know, and you got to do that with people. Like, you have to hold them accountable and make them be the leader. I've told Quincy several times, if you are a black person and you have money, power, and influence, you have no excuse to not be a leader. Like, if you don't know how to be a leader yet, grow into one. But there's no reason where you should be a black person with money, power, and influence, and you purposely choose to not lead your people. Like, that don't make sense.
And we were speaking earlier, and I wanted to really say we're excluding the uninformed in this. If you're not informed on the topic, obviously we're not looking for you to say anything right off the bat immediately, but come out with something after the fact. Give us something that we can hold on to, we can move forward with in this time right now. Because obviously a lot of people aren't informed, and that's why I'm not mad at a lot of the celebrities that don't come out immediately. But I see a lot of people on social media get mad, like just like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar hasn't came out and said anything yet. And a lot of people are like at his neck saying, where's Kendrick Lamar? He's considered a leader. He speaks all this all pro-black music in his pro-black songs in his music. And it's like, you're not coming out to say anything. You're like one of the first people I expect to say something. And it's just like, maybe the man informed or he just doesn't know what to say right now and doesn't have the words. And he could be looking at it from a business perspective, because we've also seen how people already in this week that has transpired from the riots have been canceled by the cancel culture. The Desi Banks, you know what I'm saying, posted a picture, got canceled. Tokyo Jets came out with a joke about George Floyd, got canceled. So a lot of people are seeing that I can get canceled from what I say. Let me take my time and actually articulate what I want to say before I just come out with something off the dome and I mess up my career. Because obviously I love my black people, but like I said, a lot of people want to take care of themselves at the end of the day. And they're looking at it from a business perspective too. And I feel like a lot of the entertainers are starting to think like that now. So Kendrick in a couple of days could come out with something, but a lot of people want their artists to be like J. Cole, to be in the field immediately. But everybody just isn't like Cole. Cole is a man of the people. We've seen it with the Ferguson. We've seen it with this time. It's just like he's so much. And who else you said was out there in the field, bro? You said another artist.
I seen J. Cole, like how you seen Michael B. Jordan was out in LA. Like Young and May, she was out in Atlanta. Young and May literally helped somebody like from being arrested. She stood in front of the policeman and like she was able to stop a woman from being arrested wrongfully. You know what I'm saying? Like you got artists out there in the field. You got celebrities really out there. You know what I'm saying? Desi Banks got quote unquote. I don't even be falling for the black culture cancel culture. Y'all cancel people one day and then like
and
a
be
week
loving the
later,
next.
like you be right back on them. So Desi ain't gonna be canceled for long. He'll be okay. You know, he ain't like.
But you say he had to come out with an apology though, because he seen the reaction he was getting from that.
He didn't even have to, bro. What he said was not wrong. Like, I'm here to tell y'all right now. If you don't know what Desi Banks said, because it's probably deleted by now, on his account anyway, Desi Banks posted a collage picture. The first half, the top half of the picture had MLK with the protesters behind him saying, "This is protesting," and then it was a picture of looters at the bottom saying, "This is a crime," and that's what he posted. He didn't even say anything. I think he put the praying hands.
Yeah, he just put that. Yeah.
So people were on his neck for that. And what he said was a fact. Looting is a crime. Like, you are not supposed to be out here looting. If you go to jail for that, like, I ain't gonna feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you looting and rioting, do I think it's just wrong? No, I understand the outrage and everything. But if you get caught for that, I can't be mad, because it's like, hey, charge it to the gang. Like, if you want to be part of the movement, okay, but don't just be out here doing it just to do it and get mad when you get caught.
But a lot of black people are looking at the looting, or I would be looking at the looting as reparations in a way. We're stealing from our white oppressors to get back to us, because obviously y'all we built this country. Black folks built this country. We built these buildings that y'all shopping in and stuff like that, bro. So this basically our reparations in a way. That's why we stealing and trying to get the money back from this. It's our reparations. Like I said, I'll never be mad at people stealing. So when Desi posted that, I wasn't mad in a way, but I definitely didn't agree with him either, because it's like, man, it's our reparations in a time where social injustice is at an all-time high. So it's like, what side are you really on? Because that fence shit ain't gonna work, bro. You can't be on the fence at this time. It's either you with us, bro, or you on that coon shit at this point. So we want you to be on one side. And if you on that fence, it's like, okay, you against us. So when he
see that point.
That fence, so it looked like he was on that fence. It was just like, okay, you a coon. Like you said, Desi Banks probably gonna be cool. He probably gonna bounce back. Probably not have as many fans, but he's probably gonna be solid. But it's like, bro, we need everybody to come together at this point.
And somebody who supported what he said, B. Simone, an Instagram influencer, a comedian, an author now, like a businesswoman, somebody who just recently became a millionaire, like from the ground up. She supported what he said, and the people really attacked her, and she defended herself all day on Twitter and Instagram.
Because the point they used, and the thing about their videos also is that they make a lot of hood videos related to what's going down in the hood and what's going down, like hood related things. So it's like, oh, you making a lot of pro-black junk, but you on the fence when it comes to pro-black issues. Like, come on now, you're supposed to be on our side. So when you come out on the fence, we looking at you crazy.
Because it's like I feel if you looking at a black person who just has a different mind frame from you, kind of, sort of, like, I think Desi is really pro-black. And I know B. Simone pro-black, because I see the stuff that she do. She literally she's literally in Atlanta all the time, helping out with local businesses, like donating, being out in the field. She's been in the field protesting for like several days now, but now all of a sudden people want to cancel her because of one thing that she said. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you look at people because they just have kind of a different mind frame than you, and you just automatically assume they're on the opposite side, like, no, that's not cool. Like, we don't all have to agree on every single thing.
Exactly.
As long as we know the main focus, that's all that matters. Because I ain't going to agree with every single thing like LeBron say, probably. Like, I probably ain't going to agree with every single thing he say, but I know where his heart is, I know where his head is, and I know we both still got the same vision. You know, so I feel like black Twitter and black Instagram, like, we cancel people all the time just because of one thing that they say. Tokyo Jets today, what she said was very stupid. What she said was very ignorant. Like, I don't like what she said at all. For those of you who probably haven't seen it yet, Tokyo Jets was playing around with a family member or whatever. She was being recorded on Instagram, and she was like play choking her cousin or whoever he was there, and she was like, "I'm a George Floyd your ass," and that got caught on camera. And she apologized. She apologized like 2 hours after it got posted.
He deleted her Twitter.
Yeah, and people was killing her. I was even mad. I was like, no, that's just tasteless. That's not cool. None of that. And she came out and apologized. She gave a heartfelt apology, and she really sat there and said, I'm an adult. I know what's right from wrong, and I understand that this is not there's never going to be a right time for that type of joke, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, especially right now though, like saying something like that, it was wrong. She knew it was wrong. You could see it in her face that she just felt shitty about it. But people on Instagram, I still seen people saying, I don't believe her. She fake crying, this, that. So you can never please anybody. Like even when you give the most sincere apology, black social media, when you do one thing wrong and it's over for you, they cancel you. But it's Tokyo Jets. She just got to make some good music again, and she'll be okay. I personally forgive her. I like her. I like her as a person, and I feel like her apology was true. She ain't just make no statement or nothing like that. She actually gave a video of herself. So
I feel like she wasn't even that big though to begin with, but I felt like so many people at her neck.
It was like she underground big. Like she underground big. She not a mainstream person that you could just say to anybody on the street. But a lot of people know who Tokyo Jets is. She just ain't like famous like that.
Yeah. That's why I was really surprised. I was like, damn, Tokyo Jets. I knew who Tokyo Jets was just from like Twitter, but I'm like, damn, the fact that I seen everybody going at her net, like everybody was gonna cancel her, like y'all probably don't even listen to her music, but y'all just cancel her like that. That's why this cancel culture. It's like it's real.
Like I know it because like I like trying to listen to multiple Florida artists. So the fact that she from Florida, she ain't far. She from Jacksonville, you know. So she from Duval. She a Florida girl. Like I like giving women artists a chance. Anyway, I'm big on listening to women, hip hop artists and all that. If I like you, I'll listen. And she definitely somebody I vibe with. So and she signed to T.I., you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she got a good check. She got a good support system when it comes to music and everything. So I listen to her, and she cool. But I was very upset with her today. But I'm glad she apologized immediately. So I feel like she'll get her "you're forgiven" posts and everything. But it's just people just mad as hell right now, so they don't want to forgive her. But another person who did some crazy stuff today, I've been wanting off-white shoes for a long time. But I don't want them.
I heard about him. Yeah.
Virgil Abloh or Abloh, however you say it.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. The man who charges over $500 for some shorts and shirts and socks and all that, but only donated $50 to whatever cause of police injustice or whatever he donated to. And the fact that he felt it was okay to post the $50. Like, that's the thing that's upsetting me. I was like, you really thought it was okay to post the $50? Like, come on now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that was killing me. I'm like, you literally generate so much money from the black community, and you have all white workers for the most part. I think you married to a white woman and everything, and you feel like it was okay to post $50 that you contributed to the cause, but you get millions of dollars from us, and you collaborate with so many black artists on stuff. I'm like, come on, dog. No, I don't want off-white shoes no more.
Yeah. I don't know why they post that anyway. Like, why are you posting that? Like, I don't know. People just want to be commended for junk, bro. That's all it is. They just want to get the pat on the back type of thing. And obviously his wasn't big enough. Like $50. When you make
$50?
50.
When we know you can give more? Like, come on, huh? You got broke people out here at least giving 100.
Yeah, facts.
Ooh, you might as well just not have given anything.
That's
just
true.
don't give me nothing.
You might as well. Yeah, bro. Said your piece and that was it.
Don't give me nothing. Either give me a big amount that I know you can spare, or just don't give me nothing. Like,
I feel it, bro. I feel it. But I just want to go back to the point of Killer Mike and what Killer Mike was saying when he was doing his little news conference, man. I feel like instead of rioting, I feel like we should do better at coming together as black people. I feel like we need to plot more against social injustice. We need to plot and plan and think of how we should move, how to move forward, especially in these times. Like I just said before, I don't want this to happen in 2 weeks and we get distracted by something else, another pandemic. I want this to continue going. So if we got to do meetings and come together as black folks, have a meeting in every city or something like that for us black folks to come together, I feel like it's really in our hands, bro. We can't just let the white folks determine if we should stand up for ourselves. We got to stand up for ourselves at the end of the day, bro. We have nobody else but us. Those
Right.
gonna do nothing for us, man. Especially if you're young, bro. If you're young, the quote by Huey Newton, I had seen it earlier today. The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherits the revolution. It has always been in our hands, bro. Young people, the people, and that's mostly young people out in the field. So I obviously commend y'all for that, but we just got to keep going with it, man. We really do. And not T.I., but Tupac had said it before. I remember it was at the end of a Kendrick song, man. He said, by the age of 30, man, they take the voice out of a black man. So we really just have to make our voices known now. Because by 30, man, you really don't hear no loudmouth 30-year-old, man. By 30, man, you really just caught up in the system and into your job. You're just trying to take care of your fam. But while you young, while you in your teens, while you in your 20s, like, bro, let's cause some shit to happen. Let's cause a revolution. Let's cause some changes to happen right now, bro. And I just wanted to make that piece, man, because Killer Mike was definitely saying some good things, bro, up there on the stage.
Yeah. And I agree with that because it's like what Pac said was right. It has to be the young. It's always been the young people.
Yeah, it's always the young.
You hardly ever see like the old people out protesting and doing whatever. Like I was saying earlier, that 70-something-year-old woman, she ain't had no business being out there, bro. Like, your grandkids supposed to be out here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Your children, your grandchildren are supposed to be out here doing this. You did your part at the time when you were supposed to do it. You was probably our age around the time when all that stuff was going on, and you did it. So you did your part. You don't need to be out here again. So even though it touched my heart, it hurt me to see that because she got to go through that twice. You know what I'm saying? So if you're any age between like 15, 16 to 30, you ain't got no reason to not make your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel young people we have to be the voice. Gil Scott Aaron made the song, "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. It will be live." You know what I'm saying? And as televised as it is right now, it don't feel televised. It feel like we literally living through it, which we are. Like, you will not be able to sit at home and watch your favorite television show. You will not be able to sit at home with your family eating dinner next to the house fire and this, that, and the third. No, you will be out here. It will be happening. The police will be at your door. Like, this will be live. It will not be a televised or recorded event. Even though you might have people recording it live, it's going to be live. It's going to be a live event, honestly. So
yeah, bro, I definitely feel that, man. And do you have any other things to say regarding the social injustices, the riots, the murders, the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylors, anything else?
I'm sick of the Philandro Castile, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland. Like, the names are countless. What's his name? Mike Brown. Like, I'm sick of all these situations, and I just feel like I know it's not just gonna miraculously go away, but at the same time, hold on one second. All right, my bad. I had got a phone call, but I know it's not going to just miraculously go away. I know it's still going to be bits and pieces of it happening here and there, but we have to get it to a point where it's damn near at 0%. You know, and I feel like right now we're at a point where we have to demand that. Like, if you have a platform, like I said, use it. I don't care if you only got 10 followers. Those 10 people might tell another 10 people. Like, if you are one of the big names in the world, use your platform. And everybody else, including those people, vote. Do your census so you're accounted for, and do your voting so that your voice is heard. So that's like the last things I have to say on it. Everybody do your part. Don't judge people if you're not doing your part. Because I see a lot of people pointing fingers, judging this, that, and the third, but ain't really doing nothing. To all the fake woke people out there, stop being fake woke and do your part too. Because doing nothing and just pointing out the flaws and everything else, like, that's not being woke. Like, you're purposely being ignorant at that point. You're just not helping. Just because you, quote unquote, know the government this and you know the government that, okay, you know all this information, but what are you doing with it? I'd rather have somebody that don't know nothing, but I can teach them, than somebody that possibly knows everything but ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That. But bro, do you find it weird at all, bro, how the pandemic basically went obsolete and we haven't heard about any spikes, especially with all the riots going on nationwide, bro? Has that felt weird to you at all, especially with everybody being together, really not being 6 feet at all?
I really feel like, I mean, me and Quincy, for everybody listening, me and Quincy kind of got the same feeling on it. I feel, and he feels like this is just a distraction in a way. Not saying that the virus isn't real at all. I feel like it is real because people are getting sick and people are dying. But I feel like this is a population control type situation. And I feel like the population has been controlled to whatever they wanted to control it to. So now social distancing doesn't matter at this point. I know a few new cases have popped up, but with all these riots and all these like large crowds coming together, the fact that there's been no spike. Like, I'm expecting a spike. I ain't expecting 20 new cases. No, I'm expecting to hear like 200 new cases have come up since the riots have started. I ain't hear no numbers like that or anything. So the fact that there's been no spike, it got me raising my eyebrows. Like, okay, it got the population back to what they wanted it to now. So
yeah. And I don't want to be insensitive to all the people that died from coronavirus. I really don't. So rest in peace to all the people that have died from the complications and things like that. But it just is proof that it's man-made, bro. And the government is really, like I said, doing population control. And I felt like from the beginning, this was Trump's way to just slide back into office. It was a distraction from the jump. And then this was really just the social injustice was really another distraction for Trump. We haven't really heard from Trump since his first comments. And we really didn't even talk about that. How he went out and said, what he said, bro. If you loot, they gonna shoot. What he said? He said something.
It was like some segregation times. I think there was a phrase very similar to that during segregation times. You loot, we gonna shoot.
So. Crazy. That dude was so racist, dog. And that man is our president. And when
he said thugs, I automatically knew what he meant. Everybody in America knew what he meant when he said thugs. I don't even gotta say it. I don't even gotta say it now. Y'all know what I want to say. So
yeah. We got a crazy.
When you said thugs, I was like, wow. And I used to have this argument with my parents all the time because we would sit there and be like, y'all think like whoever the president may be, y'all think they really be tweeting or they have people tweet for them? And now with Trump, I'm like, nah, this man definitely be the one tweeting. The phone definitely be in his hands when he tweets. Right. He don't have a designated Twitter person that no, this man phone be in his hand like this, and he be like, what I'm finna say today? He just type it.
Something wild. Every day.
That's how he do it.
Yeah, bro. Something wild every day. But like I said, man, I think this just means the virus is man-made. It was population control, and it's just like, man, it's just so many distractions day by day. It's like we really can't keep up until the end result when I don't know how the presidential election is going to play out. Obviously, everybody go out and vote, but man, it's a crazy time for an election, and a lot of people aren't even thinking about it right now.
Oh yeah, I ain't even been thinking.
You ain't even thinking. That's the thing. You're not even thinking about it, and it's only 5 months away, and we really haven't heard I haven't heard anything from Biden at all. So I feel like Biden's sliding under the radar, and Trump.
Last thing I heard from Biden was, "If you don't vote for me, I think you ain't black." I ain't even really know how to feel about that. I was
exactly.
Like,
exactly, bro.
I was like, oh my god.
It's crazy because I really want Hillary to run again. I know it's too late for all that, but I really wish she would have ran again. I know she got fucked over before, man, but damn, I feel like this was her time, bro, for real. I know she got the popular vote last time, but this would have been Hillary for real. Like, we tired of Trump, and I feel like the white people who voted for Trump in the beginning, I feel like they tired of that nigga too, because they seeing all the bull that he putting up. Trump obviously still has his supporters, but I feel like people have turned away from him at the same time as well. And I feel like more people would have been riding for Hillary right now. And the way Biden has been coming out with his comments, like you just said, with that comment, I feel like he hasn't really gave us a lot of energy. Obviously, I'm a vote for Biden because Democrat. You feel what I'm saying? But still, he hasn't gotten a lot of people on his side when it comes to that, bro. So it's going to be interesting to see come November, bro.
But another thing I want to say about that really quick, I feel like this is where I really need people to pay attention when it comes to voting, because a lot of times we try to vote off of likability and not really what the person is standing for. And as weird and as side-eyeing I may be with Joe Biden with a lot of stuff, if his plans that he's trying to implement help the community, and help America move forward in any way, he could be as controversial as he want to be, as long as what he's doing is benefiting my people and the community and the United States as a whole. If he's helping everything move forward instead of backward,
yeah,
I ain't got no problem if he say some crazy junk every now and then. But I don't want to vote for somebody just off of the fact that I like them. Like, and I feel like we got to be held accountable. We did that with Obama.
Facts. You black. That was it. That's all.
He black. He black.
That was it.
I promise you, like,
no matter what he said.
I promise you, at least 90% of people who voted for Obama, he black. We voting. So
yeah, I don't remember what he said. I remember he said, "Yes, we can." That's it.
Like, it's just granted, that ended up working pretty good for us. Like, it wasn't all good, but for the most part, it was pretty okay. You know what I'm saying? His presidency. So now that we don't have color to go off of anymore, and we literally have to go off of what is this person trying to do, we can't just go off of likability. We have to go off of what is your plans? Well, what ways can you help Black people? What ways can you help any discriminated race or people or whatever? And how can we help economically move this country forward? I feel like that's the best thing to do. There has to be a Black agenda. There has to be. I don't care who the president is, whether you Democratic, Republican, Independent, I don't give a damn who you are. There has to be a Black agenda. There has to be an agenda, like literally. I want y'all to buy an agenda and only write stuff for Black people in it. Like, I say Black agenda, I'm literally meaning that. I need y'all to be at a discussion board where it's one agenda on the middle of the table and everything in that agenda just needs to be for Black people. So.
Yeah, that's facts. I really wish Bernie would have stayed in, bro. Bernie had the Black agenda.
Well, yeah, I like Bernie too.
Bernie was just promising too much shit, man. He was promising too much shit, bro. He was promising too much good shit. It was schools at first, then it was, oh, y'all gonna get a check every month, and it was just like, he was starting to promise too much shit, Bernie. And it was like, damn, Bernie.
The problem with politicians, bro, we don't want empty promises. Just tell me what you know you can get done. Don't promise me a bunch of stuff. Please don't give me. And a lot of times, like the lower class people in America, we fall for all those promises. Like, we're gonna do this, and I promise we're gonna do this, and I'll find a way to. No, I need you to already have that way figured out. Like, I don't need you finding nothing while you trying to do it. Like, no, I need you to already know how we gonna get this done. I don't want empty promises. I want actual plans. I want to be able to see the plan. Like, I want people to vouch for you and be like, yeah, this actually gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
So. Yeah, bro, that's how it was with Bernie. Bernie said free school, you're gonna have scholarship, you're gonna have the free money. He said they're gonna tax the big businesses. He's gonna get it.
If he just left it at the school stuff,
he would have been straight. I said the same thing to my mama. Yep.
Yeah. If he just left it at the school stuff, I'd have been like, yeah, he gonna win because he gonna get that young vote, and he in there. But then he started promising a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, no, bro, just leave it at school.
Just bro.
Because you got everybody from the age of 18 to like 30 with that right there. So
facts.
Man.
Facts, bro. But one conspiracy I want to leave y'all with, bro. Like I said before, a lot of the white people have been obstructing. A lot of the buildings have been looting, bro. I ain't gonna lie about that. Black people have been doing it too, but it's been mostly the whites. And like I said, Corona hasn't made any spikes since the riots have been going on. I'm telling you, I feel like the media is gonna spin it in a way where Black folks are going to get the blame for the buildings being obstructed. In 2 weeks, I'll paint this picture for you. In 2 weeks, the coronavirus cases are going to go up. I'm telling you right now, they're going to go up. They're going to tell you that all the buildings, all the Targets, all the Walmarts are rummaged through because they're going to blame it on us. They're going to blame us on the Black folk, even though, like I said, it's been all the whites. They're going to blame it on us. And it's going to be another corona spike, and they're going to be like, the Black people did this. The Black people are the reason why we don't have the Targets, the Walmarts, and all the things like that. They looted it, and they destroyed it all. They're going to blame it on us. It ended up we getting all the blame for this. So also keep that in the back of your mind as well, bro, when you think about the looting. The media knows how to spin it, especially the Fox Business Channel. They know how to spin it in their favor, bro. They want the white people to look good. Even though we see all the videos on social media of the white people looting, they're going to end up blaming us some type of way, bro. It never fails. So I want y'all to think about that, man. Like I said, when y'all see the white people out there just trying to cause anarchy, I'm telling you, that all plays a part. and what I just spoke about with the conspiracy. But yeah, man, that's all I had to say. I just wanted to leave y'all with that thought before we get out of here. Edgar, that's it.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to add. I feel like we said a mouthful, honestly, with this right here.
Yeah, this was a long ass episode. I can't even lie. Long ass episode. But hit it with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at Q_N_E_podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page, Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Q&E Podcast. Hit that notification bell and hit the all button so that way you know every time we drop something, whether it be a video, whether it be us going live. Don't forget to email us at QANDEpodcast@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, inquiries, business opportunities, anything like that, or just fan mail. And don't forget PodGo, the podcast app that you can always use. You'll probably hear an advertisement somewhere in the middle of this episode of me giving that ad. So PodGo, feel free to use that app for anything as far as advertisements for your own business. And what else? Blue Collar Media Group. Shout out to Blue Collar Media Group and MTMV platforms. We are a part of those now. So feel free to go to their Twitters and their websites, check out any of the other podcast platforms on there, listen to them, subscribe to them. And yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, man. Follow me on Twitter at Q_Hicks3. Follow Edgar at EdgarMartin97 and follow his IG at Edgar Martin Official. Subscribe to all the podcast platforms. We're now on iHeartRadio now. So if you listen to our iHeartRadio, we're on there now. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So definitely subscribe to all those. Edgar said the rest. We said a mouthful, man. We standing up as the black people, man. We appreciate everybody out there in the field. We really see it. We love everybody who's vocalizing themselves. And yeah, we out. Peace.